Thank you, Cathaoirleach. And firstly, I want to thank, as I say, Senator Dooley and Fianna Fáil for using the private members for members' time. I formally second this motion. I think it's commendable. I'm not going to repeat all the various aspects to it because I believe in it. I believe what you've been saying, and I don't think we need to go rehearse all of this. I think we're all well versed in it. But I want to take my few moments, I've only got 6 minutes, just to share a few thoughts really, because it prompted me to think about this before I came here today. And firstly, I want to acknowledge and I want to thank the Cathaoirleach, Mark Daly, and indeed the Ceann Cála, who represented our houses and went to Ukraine. I thought it was very moving. I thought it sent a very strong and united message across in Ukraine, but from us. And then I want to just touch on something that last week you'd be familiar, Cathaoirleach, that the President unveiled a war independent monument in Kenmare. Indeed, you were there, as was his wife Sabina, and it was the unveiling of this monument in Kenmare. And during that visit, the President met the 16-year-old boy, Pavlo Martin, who fled from Ukraine on the 3rd of March of this year with his mother. And he's now a transition year. I think he's about 16 years of age. And he told the President, and was recorded on RT in a number of broadcasts and in the printed media, he said, "My life has changed after I came from Ukraine to here. New opportunities, new beginnings. I do not know how long we'll be here. Maybe we'll be here forever." But he wasn't altogether concerned about being here forever. He felt safe, he felt secure. They realised the potential that he could possibly have. And while many people are fleeing, terribly sad, from their homes in Ukraine, there are many people that have come here and have found a temporary home, and I hope many a permanent home, by choice. The President then went on to talk about people fleeing Ukraine and Ireland, and he talked about migration. And he talked about our understanding, and I quote, "In a way," he says, "we should know more about migration than most," says the President. But it's important we meet their needs. And I think that's important too. And so while we can address all the issues in relation to the motion, it doesn't call for a lot in the end. And I don't say that disrespectfully to anybody here, but it sets out the issues, and then it calls for 2 paragraphs. But I'd like to add in my conversation, rather than formal addition to this motion, that I think it's important that we are mindful, as the President said, of migrants and migration, but also refugees, because many of these people are not coming by choice. And I think that's important. So we need to talk about integration. We need to talk about the issues of mainstreaming people into work. We need to talk about the government and every department in government being conscious of the demands and the needs and the genuine expectations of people coming here. We are their hosts. We invited them in warmly and welcomed them, and I think the government were right and tapped into the emotion of the nation and its citizens and its people. But we need also to ensure that they are protected, they are not excluded from our communities or our society, they are not put in ghettos, they're not put in long-term inappropriate accommodation to meet their needs. They are given full access to public health services, that we address and prioritise social inclusion. We prioritise their access to education, but also that they continue in their native language, and we respect their culture, for many will want to go back. And if you don't have language, it's so much more difficult for you to go back to your homeland. And then we need to address health, employment and training opportunities, and pathways to work. For many of these people will stay and choose to stay, and I hope they will all be welcome. We need to address the integration in communities. We need to promote intercultural awareness, acceptance and support. We need to address combating racism or potential racism or any form of exclusion that these people may come across. And of course, we've got to promote the great love of Irish sport and music and culture, and embrace and assist them to help embrace some of our tradition. So that's what real integration is about. That's going to be the real challenge. That's going to be the real ask of us as a people in Ireland. How can we meet their needs? And when you go back, what the President said to Pavlo that day, he said, you know, I hope you'll be happy here, and I hope we will meet your needs and meet the needs of the people that are coming here. I want to thank again Fianna Fáil and all others who were involved in preparing this motion. I think it's commendable, I think it's right, and I think it's appropriate. But let's not lose sight of the very simple things. Let's be advocates, let's be leaders, let's use our contacts in local government to support housing, integration and acceptance right across this country. That's the real challenge. That is the real test. Because in time, like all controversies, all disasters, all wars, it dilutes and people's emotion isn't the same, the connection isn't the same. It weakens in time. Let's show us Ireland at our best, that we genuinely believe these people are here for support. They want to be in our community. They will enrich our community. They will bring greater diversity to our community. And we will learn more from that sharing and that common humanity that we are good at. I want to thank you again for bringing this motion to the House.